The Duchess of Sussex apologized at a hearing last month for misleading the court about whether information had been given to the authors of Finding Freedom. The Court of Appeal heard how Meghan had asked her then Communications Secretary Jason Naft to share details with Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand, despite having earlier insisted she did not contribute. The publisher of the Mail on Sunday Today lost its appeal against a ruling in favor of the Duchess over the publication of a personal letter to her estranged father Thomas Markle. In his ruling, Sir Geoffrey Voss addressed Meghan's apology to the court in November. He said, "This was, at best, an unfortunate lapse of memory on her part." Meghan sued Associated Newspapers Limited (ANL), also the publisher of Mail Online, over 5 articles that reproduced parts of a personal and private letter to Mr. Markle in August 2018. The Duchess won her case earlier this year when a High Court judge ruled in her favor without a full trial. ANL brought an appeal against that decision and, at a 3-day hearing in November, argued the case should go to a trial on Meghan's claims against the publisher, including breach of privacy and copyright. But in a ruling on Thursday, Sir Geoffrey, Dame Victoria Sharp and Lord Justice Bean dismissed the publisher's appeal. Reading a summary of the decision, Sir Geoffrey said, "It was hard to see what evidence could have been adduced at trial that would have altered the situation. The judge had been in as good a position as any trial judge to look at the article in People magazine, the letter and the Mail on Sunday articles to decide if publication of the contents of the letter was appropriate to rebut the allegations against Mr. Markle. The judge had correctly decided that, whilst it might have been proportionate to publish a very small part of the letter for that purpose, it was not necessary to publish half the contents of the letter as ANL had done." In a statement after the ruling, Meghan said, "This is a victory not just for me, but for anyone who has ever felt scared to stand up for what's right. While this win is precedent-setting, what matters most is that we are now collectively brave enough to reshape a tabloid industry that conditions people to be cruel and profits from the lies and pain that they create. From day one, I have treated this lawsuit as an important measure of right versus wrong. The defendant has treated it as a game with no rules. The longer they dragged it out, the more they could twist facts and manipulate the public, even during the appeal itself, making a straightforward case extraordinarily convoluted in order to generate more headlines and sell more newspapers, a model that rewards chaos above truth. In the nearly 3 years since this began, I have been patient in the face of deception, intimidation and calculated attacks. Today, the courts ruled in my favor, again, cementing that the Mail on Sunday, owned by Lord Jonathan Rothermere, has broken the law." In a witness statement, Mr. Naft said the book was discussed on a routine basis, which was discussed directly with the Duchess multiple times in person and over email. Mr. Naft also discussed planning a meeting with the authors to provide background information and said Meghan had given him several briefing points to share with them. In her witness statement, the Duchess apologized for misleading the court about whether Mr. Naft provided information to Mr. Scobie or Ms. Durand. She said, "I accept that Mr. Naft did provide some information to the authors for the book and that he did so with my knowledge, for a meeting that he planned for with the authors in his capacity as Communications Secretary. The extent of the information he shared is unknown to me. When I approved the passage, I did not have the benefit of seeing these emails and I apologized to the court for the fact that I had not remembered these exchanges at the time. I had absolutely no wish or intention to mislead the defendant or the court."